Hey, hey, Shalom, Makim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. It was in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is the Akia Mahaloya coming back with another lesson. Lord's will be edifying. A question was posed to me today on the comment board. My brother asked, matter of fact, let's see if I can just pull it up. He asked me a question. Hold on, give me 1 second. Here we go. He says, Shalom, bro. Got a quick question. I don't have no unleavened bread to eat for the week. So what can I eat or drink because I don't want to break no law? So I'm just getting counsel. So Rock 37:16 before action get counsel. And I pretty much answered the question, and I told him I'll do a lesson on it. Just to, for you brothers and you few sisters out there may have any type of questions or anything like that, just to clarify what you can and what you can't eat during the unleavened bread or the Passover ceremony or service, which the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread is one and the same. Okay, because you start eating unleavened bread the night of the Passover, which unleavened bread is just bread that don't contain any yeast or any rising agents or any air that causes the air to rise in the yeast or in the bread, so to speak. Okay, so it ain't really don't think too much into it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, you want to be careful in what you eat in general, but brothers, don't be pulling your hair out, okay, if you accidentally eat something with leaven in it, okay, or you have something you left over. No. Now, you want to abstain for those things, of course, but, I mean, it's common sense, really, and it's worth the Google search because you have to do your research on it. But I says anything without leavening in it, I said like corn tortillas. Corn is a good unleavened base grain, so to speak, because we know corn and rice, or really rice is grains and whole oats and so forth. It says like corn tortillas is a good substitute. I said leaven is what make bread rise. So things like baked chicken, eggs, rice, vegetables, fruits, vodka, tequilas are all lawful because even though alcohol go through the fermentation process of yeast and leaven, a lot of times during the final fermentation, there's no yeast in alcohol, depending on which alcohol you get. Like I try to stay away from brown liquors because you just never know. Anything like apple cider or anything like that, like apple crown, you want to abstain from that. Certain wines, definitely you don't want to drink any beer. Okay, which I'm not a beer drinker anyway, but beer contains a lot of yeast in it. But be on the safe side. If you're going to have any particular drinks, I will stick to the vodkas unless, proven otherwise, which that's pretty much a clean alcohol. It says tequilas are all lawful. It says you mainly want to stay away from fried foods, cakes, cookies, hamburger buns, typical breads. I'm like, just look at the ingredients when at the store. If you don't, it says, and if it don't contain leavening flours, you should be good. I'm like, don't stress over it, bro. Just rehearsing the righteous acts. Then I hit him with Judges 5:11. It says they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the place of drawing waters, which is America. Okay, they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even in righteous acts towards the inhabitants of the villages in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gate. So we're rehearsing the righteous acts. And when you think of rehearsing, you're thinking of practice. Okay, they say practice make perfect because in the kingdom we will have it perfect. Okay, so just to answer the brother's question, modern day names for leaven, you got leaven, baking powder, baking soda, which baking powder and baking soda is not really a leaven, but it contains the agents that cause breads to rise. So you want to stay away from that. Yeast, cream of tartar, sodium bicarbonate, sodium phosphate, sodium acid phosphate, sodium aluminum phosphate, it says monocalcium, calcium phosphate, vinegar, acetic acid, ammonium bicarbonate, calcium. I can't pronounce that shit, man. But you see this list here. Okay, but you're mainly looking for the leaven, baking powder, baking soda, yeast. Okay, apple cider vinegar, that has yeast in it because as it ferments over time, you can see the leavening agent that residues at the bottom of the glass bottle, so to speak. So you want to toss that out, or you have a storage, or you want to put it like in a separate place away from your house, you can do so. Because apple cider vinegar does have good health benefits, but we're in the time of the Passover, so you don't want it within your domain. And really, it's talking about the spiritual leaven, too, that you have in your heart, your mind. You know, the poisonous cancers, man, that can affect your walk and your growth in this truth. Okay? But ultimately, you do want to abstain from these foods as well. All right? So we're going to go into a couple of precepts real quick. Exodus 12 and 14. It says, and this day should be unto you as a memorial, and you should keep it as a feast, which a feast deals with food and drink. It says to the Lord throughout your generations, and ye should keep it a feast by ordinance forever. It says 7 days you should eat unleavened bread. Now, you can make unleavened bread. Basically, you get you some olive oil, you know, your particular peppers or spices, and you get you a tortilla, you flip it, some dough, you know what I'm saying, and you make it quick because it's like a 2-minute process. Okay, because we know when you're cooking actual bread, it takes time because you got to give time for the leaven or the chemicals in the leaven to allow the bread to yeast. But the whole point of unleavened bread is the fact it don't have any leavening agent in it. So therefore, it's a quick batch. Real quick, you flip it over, some dough, water, spices, whatever, food, and there you go. You got your unleavened bread. It's flat bread, basically. Okay, now when you go to the store, don't be simple, okay, because, you know, tacos and stuff like that, lawfully you can eat. But don't get the flour tortillas, even though that is considered a leavened bread because it's flat. It's not risen, but the flour itself contains a rising agent in it. So you want to stay away from your flour tortillas. If you're going to eat particular tacos or whatever you're going to do this week, get you the corn tortillas or the corn shells. You know, the hard shells will get you the corn tortillas, or get you the, I believe, wheat. Wheat, I don't think that contains leaven in it because it just grains and oats. So you should be good there. But just to be on the safe side, I would stick with the corn tortillas. You know, if you brothers and sisters out there are observing this, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. 7 days you should eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you should put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day unto the 7th day, that soul should be cut off from Israel. Okay, so let's look up unleavened. Okay, look up the word unleavened in Hebrew, and it goes into the Hebrew word Matazaha. Okay, that's the matazah, and that's the ha. Okay, it says unleavened bread, cake without leaven. It says, in the sense of greedily devouring sweetness, like cakes and cookies and biscuits, properly sweetened is concrete as sweet, an unfermented cake or loaf. Okay, the festival Passover, no leaven then was used. And why? Because it's a quick fix. It's literally, you can make leavened bread in 2-3 minutes. You know, the dough, the water, whatever you use, and you flip it over. You don't give it a chance to rise because you're not adding anything to it. And then there you go. It's like a flatbread. It's done. And it's actually pretty damn good. It's damn good, man. I text the brother. I'm like, hey, man, make some more of that unleavened bread. You know, and the Lord's will, I can go by and swing by later on and pick something up from him. But that shit is good. The way we make it here is delicious, man. You know, and it's easily digestible versus your cupcakes and your brownies and all that stuff. You want to stay away from that. Just in general, eating all those sweets. Like if I do buy donuts or some shit like that, man, which is every once in a blue moon, I'll be sitting on them shits for weeks. Like I bought some chocolate chip cookies probably like 3 weeks ago, and I probably ate the last 2 with some help, like last week sometime. You know, because I'm not really big on sweets, because everything you eat contains sugars and shit. And everything, and you know, cancer, they thrive on sugar. Okay, basically cancer cell, they kills the cells, and they ferment in their growth. They attack the cells, and they basically spread through the sugar intake in your body. That's why you got to stay away from those particular processed sugars and shit like that. Like everything you eat got sugar in it for the most part, but you know, white sugar, I haven't had that shit in ages. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, the way that you kill cancer off, starving out your is cut the sugar intake completely, cutting out alcohol, and going on fast is to give your body a chance to replenish those cells. And that way, when the cancer doesn't have sugar to feed off of, it will die. The cancer will literally die. You can kill it within a month or 2 or 3, if you do and follow the right protocols. Because every disease you get is totally reversible. Okay, you ain't got to go to these fucking doctors and get that bullshit that they prescribe you just to keep you coming back. No, that'll kill you quick. Now, if it's like a chronic disease and an illness, then, you know, you go get your diagnosis from Esau. But you figure out a natural means on how to deal with it. You know, and if you ain't got to take prescription drugs for more than 7 days, then cool. You know, if it's some shit they want you to take for 5, 6, 7 months and years, you want to stay away from it. But it says unleavened bread, cake without leaven, which we all just broke down what leaven is. And it reads, in the first day, there should be a holy convocation. And in the seventh day, there should be a holy convocation. And no manner of work should be done in them. Why? Because those are Shabbats, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day, I have brought you and your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations by ordinance forever. And this is the ceremony we're in now. Okay. Last night evening marked the first day of the Passover / the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So that 7th day you can eat yeast or leaven, which would be Saturday night, followed by another holy convocation, which will be the Shabbat, which is Sunday evening to Monday evening, which will fall within that week period. If you follow the new moon Shabbat, it's pretty simple. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you should eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening, which is 7 days. 7 days there should no leaven be found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul should be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Okay. Now, leaven, right? They got different words for it. Okay, you got the Shah, I think that's Sha'ara, if I'm not mistaken, which is leaven. Okay, now you look up leaven, and it says a cooking, a leavening agent or rising agent, also called leaven or leavener, is one or any one of a number of substances used in dough and batters that cause a foaming action that lightens and softens the mixture. An alternative or supplement to leavening agents is a mechanical action by which air is incorporated. It says leavening agents could be biological or synthetic chemical compounds. The gas produced is often carbon dioxide or occasionally hydrogen. Okay, substance which liberate gas or thereby increases the volume of dough or batter. So, hamburger buns, regular bread, hot dog buns, cookies, donuts, cupcakes, that all got leavening in it because it's a risen agent. Okay, it's a bread that's pretty much how can I say it? It's not flat. Put it to you that way. Okay, it's not a flat bread. You can see the puffiness in it. Like if you look at a cupcake or a brownie, it's a risen bread. It's a risen yeast. Okay, which shows that it has leavening in it. You want to stay away from that for the week. And it says, even that soul that should be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land, you should eat nothing leavened, and in all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Now, like I said, you can look up how to make unleavened bread. It's pretty simple. Olive oil is your dough, water. You mix it, bam, put it in a skillet, flip it, bam, there you go. It's simple. It's not hard at all. It's pretty damn good. All right, and it has twice the health benefits. And it says, and ye should eat nothing leavened, and all your habitation you should eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said it to them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover, which we did. Okay, we had a lamb. And you should take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in blood that is the basin, and strike the lintel on the two sides of the post with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you should go out that door of his house until the morning. Okay, and that represents the blood being on the doorpost, man. You know, the doorpost, which is the protection, which is the blood of Yahweh Shai, symbolically. And that's what we did last night. You know, it says, for the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts. The Lord will pass over the door. And it says, it will not suffer the destroyer to come into your houses to smite you. And ye shall observe this thing for ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass when you come to the land which the Lord will give you, according to he hath promised, that ye should keep this service. And it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed their head and worship. And this is the point of keeping the Passover, to be exempt from the judgment to come, because we want to be covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. Okay, which, you know, the Passover ceremony is very sacred, very solemn, serious. Okay, a solemn assembly, not some dance off, not some Jodeci concert. not picking up bottle girls. No, we're not in that spirit. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron. So they did. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, and he and his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt. It says, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by the night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel. Go and serve the Lord as ye have said. He like, basically, y'all get the fuck out of here, man. Y'all bringing all this death. So basically told him to get ghosts. Okay. All right. But it says, and also take your flocks and your herds, as ye have said, and be gone and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urging upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste. For they said, we be all dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, right? You see, that's the whole point of unleavened bread, because we did it in haste. And their kneading troughs being bound upon their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses. And they borrowed the Egyptians' jewels of silver, jewels of gold, and raiment. And it says here, and the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent it to them such things they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians, man. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men, beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, and even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, meaning we didn't have time. Okay, it was sense of urgency. And it says, and could not carry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victuals. Okay, so that's the point. Unleavened bread. So worth a Google search, what foods contain yeast 11, and it gives you a list here: breads, cakes, biscuits, cookies, crackers, flour, milk, okay, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, pastries, pretzels, rolls, any meat fried with breading, meaning that, hey, you eat fried fish? No, because it has a breading on it. Fried chicken? No, it has breading on it. Chicken strips? Anything that has a breading substance in it, unless it's like wheat flour. I don't know about wheat flour. I have to look that up. But regardless of it, you want to abstain from any fried foods this week. You know, so you like your chicken egg rolls and your, you know, what you call those. I actually like them. They're called Southwest rolls, when it's like basically a fried base, but it has like black beans and corn and different vegetables in it. Southwest egg rolls are pretty good, but got to stay away from that. I know, like my man Yak, I call him Yak Dip. Yak is, man, he said he liked cookies and cupcakes. He said when he first came in the thing, the Passover week was hard because he loved his cookies and brownies and shit. He said, I got to abstain from that. So you got to abstain from those particular foods, your pastries and so forth. So, hey, if your job bringing donuts, man, you can't eat that shit. All right. The following substances contain yeast or yeast-like substance because of their nature or nature of their manufacture or preparation, man. Okay. And just a diagram here. Just fucking breads, man. You know, that's 11 bread there. Whole wheat, half wheat, all white, leavening agents. See, it causes breads to rise. Yeast. All right. You want to abstain from this for the week. Common foods that contain yeast. I can't really. Yep. Baking leaveners. Organic sugar. Baking powder, yeast, flour. You know, which white flour, that shit is death. I try not to really eat white flour unless it's like, you know, just like the last result. You know, some chicken may be getting fried, but even then, there's different ways on how you can eat fried chicken without white flour. Okay. So, yeah, man. And this is what your unleavened bread will look like. Or get you some of those mitzo crackers, man. You can find those like at your local health food store. You go to like a what you call those stores, man. Go to like a Mediterranean market. Like it's this particular Mediterranean market I go to. Pretty good food. They have the mitzo crackers and all that other stuff too. So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward, man. It's not hard. You know, it ain't nothing that we ain't done before. You know, focus on your fruits, your vegetables, your water intake, you know, your whole grains and so forth like that. Like oatmeal. Oatmeal is just rolled oats and grains, okay? Now, be careful, though. Certain oatmeals, like the flavor oatmeal, some of them may contain particular agents in it, you know, that cause yeast. But mainly your regular oatmeal, which is good in fiber, you should be good there. you know. But like I said, man, you know, just it's worth the Google search and do your own research, you know, come to your conclusion and, you know, filter it through the scriptures. But anyway, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. And with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball.